everybody, it's Alara. Welcome back to my channel about cross stitching. 95% of it, some of it's embroidery. Some of my older videos I threw in a couple other stuff. But thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to all of my new subscribers. There have been quite a few of you in the last week, so thank you for stopping by and checking the channel out. Thank you so much to everybody returning. I know we tend to say these things every time we make a video, but it's true. Thank you for coming by, because I started this as a journey to sort of document what I'm doing, but this has turned into so much more than that for me. It's definitely been a way for me to connect to people that I would never in a million years have been blessed to have in my life otherwise. So thank you. Let's see. So where to start? I don't have a whole... Okay, I have 6 projects to show you, but to me, I feel like I don't have a lot to show you. I feel like I've sort of not really rushed into this video, but kind of, because I want to do my whip parade. And I have found that it's very awkward to try and coordinate a whip parade and an update video so that you're either not missing a whip that you haven't updated, or you're showing a whip that, okay, for me, I'm showing a whip that, you know, maybe a start that I hadn't shown my update. Anyways, it's been weird trying to coordinate it. First order of business. I'm actually going to insert a video of a camera screen video of me picking the winner for my giveaway for my 1K. If you saw my last video, I hit 1,000 subscribers. It's still very surreal to me that that has happened, but I offered a giveaway for this bag. And you had to comment, you know, the word of the day. In order to be entered, you had to fill out the Google Happy Mail form. The reason I am not doing this live is because I have noticed, and I tried to address it in the last video, but apparently I wasn't super clear. There's still some confusion about how to fill out the form. There is a required field, 2 required fields. Your YouTube name, your name, of course, so that I can communicate with you without being, you know, like, hello, JXR2B12000. Your email address and your YouTube name. There seems to be some confusion about what the YouTube name is. I don't mean your YouTube channel. You don't have to have videos in order to comment on a channel. Your YouTube name is what shows up next to those comments, and I'm still getting some people that are a little confused by that. If I don't have your YouTube name, I cannot match your comment with your email. So I have to have both your email address and your YouTube name. I didn't want to take the chance of drawing anybody who I did not have their name for and have to do any backpedaling and really disappoint with that. Now, luckily that did not happen. You'll have to take my word for it, but I did film the drawing as I did it just a few minutes ago. But again, it was so that I didn't have to backpedal and potentially embarrass anybody because of that little hiccup. I have modified the form to include a little bit more clear instructions on that. And I did want to address one thing from a commenter from the last video, that they were a little turned off by the fact that I do require a form to be filled out in order to enter the giveaway. There is one reason, and one reason only, why I require the form, and that is to prevent potential fraud. Basically, where someone contacts me saying that they're so-and-so and they won the giveaway, when in reality they just got to me first before the actual person who won. And I don't ever want to be put in the situation where 2 people contact me saying that they're this person, and I have to figure out who's telling me the truth and who's lying, basically. I don't ask for your physical address. I don't ask for any identifying information other than your name, your YouTube name that you comment with, so that I can match you up with who you are, and your email address in order to send that communication. It's just like signing up for any other subscription letter or whatnot on a website, which I understand Some people don't do that. Some people aren't comfortable with it, and that's okay. Unfortunately, you won't be eligible to do my giveaways if that makes you uncomfortable. And I am sorry, but I have to make sure that both you as a entrant and me as a gifter are protected, and that's how I choose to do it. So I hope you can understand that that's where I'm coming from, and that form isn't asking for any other information except for your email and how to identify you as far as matching you up with your comment. So hopefully that clarifies a little bit of any concerns. Okay, so with that little bit of housekeeping out of the way, let me go ahead and insert that video here. Here we go. So I've got my link. I'm gonna go ahead and paste it in. We are using our keyword of sunshine. All right, 73 comments. You guys are awesome. All right, here we go. Gretchen, I've been loving all the sunshine and low humidity here in Pennsylvania. Love your channel and hearing about your stitching and life. Oh, thanks, Gretchen. Congratulations. I appreciate all your support, and I will contact you by email, and we'll coordinate getting your bag to you. Thanks so much. So congratulations so much, Gretchen. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I will contact you via that email that you left. I did double check, and you are in there. And we will coordinate what kind of strap you want, and I'll get that over to next door, because I believe you are in Pennsylvania. So I will send that over straight away once we communicate. Again, if I don't, it does say in the form, but just in case you don't see this video from when it posts to 2 weeks after that, if I haven't heard back from you via that email, I will go ahead and redraw for a new winner. I don't want to have something like that hanging over my head, because I'll eventually forget it, and then there's confusion, and yeah, don't want to have that happening. All right. Oh, and I feel like a jerk, because when I was talking about hitting that 1,000 subscriber mark, I failed to mention probably the #1 component of how that happened. And that is anyone and everyone who has mentioned my channel, whether it be, talking to maybe some of their friends in real life that watch Flosstube, or other Flosstubers. Mostly, of course, I know the ones of the Flosstubers who have mentioned me. And I wouldn't be where I am without them. And I failed to, I was, for whatever reason, I was really nervous about that, the fact of hitting 1,000 and feeling like seen and watched by a lot of people. And one of the main reasons of where I'm at, I failed to mention, and I felt like a jerk about that. So thank you to everyone who has mentioned me on their channels, because I know there have been a lot of people that came over to check out this, craziness that is usually an hour with Alara. So that being said, I think that gets us to progress. I have a finish, y'all. I finished something. I gotta get somebody. Sorry, my finger in your face. I had to get rid of a notification. It was right in the camera. Anyway, I have a finish. It's not a cross stitch, but I have a finish. It's not fully finished yet, but I'll be honest, I'm terrible at fully finishing. So this was a super quick embroidery kit that I started at the very end of Mania. And this is Calla Lilies. And this was done by the Creative Circle. This is a kit from 1986 that my mom had, and she passed on to me. And it's embroidered just around the lilies. There's some French knots, mostly backstitch, which this kind of backstitch I don't hate because I can see where it's going. And then the vase is also backstitched around. And then the fan has the most work. Some lazy daisy stitches, colonial knots, satin stitch, stem stitch, chain stitch, I think is what was in there. And then of course the back stitch around the fan. So this is, and if you can see, this is like a 3D thing, 'cause it's stuffed. It's a double layer. It's got a backing, and let's just be glad I'm not a surgeon, because I had dickens of a time trying to get these suckers stuffed right. I had to cut here, and I had to cut over here, and I had to cut down there. I was having trouble getting the stuffing to actually go. Like, I cut over here because this was completely empty once I had quilted it down with the chain stitch on the other side. And this side, like, ended up completely empty. So I was like, screw it, I'm not cutting that and trying to stuff it up there, because that was a pain in the butt. But yeah, I mean, it's because it's just whip stitch closed. And this fabric is really fragile because of how old it is. I ended up putting my thumb through the top of it on this side when I was, where'd it go? Right there, when I was working on it. So I was afraid, and the instructions just said, don't overstuff. But it didn't exactly define overstuffing. So that's probably why I struggled with the fan a little bit, was because it's a little overstuffed. But I think it turned out pretty cute. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it, if I'm going to try and frame it, or if it'll just go in some sad little pile of things that I'll never fully finish, because I hate fully finishing things almost as much as I hate backstitching. All right, and then I worked on, I forgot to unzip these. Sorry. Okay. I don't have a cover paper for this, so Veil Nebula by Heaven and Earth Designs. This is an asset image, so it is a copyright-free, open source, blah, blah, blah. No artist. And I got 600 stitches in on this. I have a total of 7,004 stitches, and I'm a grand total 1.05% complete, because this is the supersized max color version of this chart. Surprise! I worked on more black. There's a few little stars in there now that they're starting to come in. Actually, I think this was already there, because I worked these two and then these 4 blocks. Or is this the one? Yeah, no. And then these 4. So that little star came in. And that's it. Mostly black. I feel like my non-focus pieces got not a lot of love this time around. It seems like whenever I had a non-focus piece day, it was very, like, either I couldn't focus enough to get anything done, or I was so tired I couldn't see straight to stitch. I mean, 600 is not bad, but it's not a lot for me. I just zipped the thread. Hang on. Let me put this back where it belongs. Okay. Next, I worked on another supersize max color piece, because I'm crazy. This is Light Weaver by Michelle Lee Phelan. I think that's how you say her name. I'm not 100% sure. And I have yeah, this is the one I was like, man, I didn't get hardly anything done. I slept walked my way through a couple of days of trying to get some stitching done on him, and I'll explain why in a minute, but I only got 205 stitches in on him. So not a whole lot. I worked up here just starting to, I'm kind of working cross country a little bit, more of just pick the next square in whatever square is in this diagonal and filling it in. So I'm technically filling this square in, but it's a lot of traveling this way, so it looks a little weird. that's my small progress on Lightweaver. I don't even know if you can tell what I've done, but I did what I could on Lightweaver. And then I worked on Beloved by, did I say that was and all of these are worked on 28 count. All of these projects on all but this one that I'm going to show you is on an Ada that I got from China. And those first two are worked 1/1 full cross. This one is also worked 1/1 full cross, but it is on a 28 count even weave. And this is Beloved flipped so that the rings are on the left hand. And this is by Adele Sessler. Again, Heaven and Earth Designs, if I didn't say that already. This one I got... I keep saying next I worked on. This is no sort of chronological order. Oh, this one I didn't do too bad on. I got 827 stitches in. I am at 2.01% for a total of 5,953 stitches. And actually, that's right. When I worked on this, this was kind of exciting. I have a lot more, well, not a lot more. I have some more hair coming through. Yes, you can probably see some shadows in the dye lots. I have decided to not let it bother me. This is for my own personal enjoyment, and it's just going to look matrixy. And I don't mind. It's okay. I have old dye lots of 318, I think is that color, that I'm trying to use up. And you can definitely tell where that different floss is going in. So there's that progress. Oh, I forgot a project. Hold please, I'll be right back. Just kidding. No, I didn't. It's 5 o'clock in the morning, y'all. Today, Sunday, June 18th, is my anniversary, my wedding anniversary. So I'm actually staying up so that I can spend the day half delirious, but at least it'll be with my husband. So again, maybe not the best day to record, but it is what it is. I saw the previous week on my notes and thought I forgot a project, and then I got it out and I'm like, no, I've shown this, right? Am I right? It's gonna be one of those days, guys. Okay, so next I worked on my focus piece, and I had a little scare the other day with this because the friend that I am working on this for, he and my husband, this is my husband's best friend, and they were on the phone. He lives in North Carolina. We're up in Ohio, and they talk almost every day. And usually they'll be on speakerphone and I'll chime in and we'll chit chat and whatnot. And for whatever reason, those two got a wild hair and decided they had to figure out what my YouTube channel was. Because I had not still actually told my husband. He knows, you know, that I record and that I've got the Flosstube and everything, but I hadn't actually told him what my channel name was. He knows my screen name. It's not like it was a secret. I just never mentioned it. They decided it would be a fantastic fun idea to figure it out. And I don't know if they were like going to go harass me on there or what, but his best friend started jumping on my videos. And I was like, you have got to get off my channel. And, you know, my husband's looking at me kind of weird, and I pointed at the dog and I'm like, stop before he sees it. He's started like, oh, executive decision. You have to jump off the channel. So Chris, if you're watching, stop. Stop it. I'm going to be so mad if you ruin this surprise. So, I got... Oh, I forgot to actually add up what I got done total over the last week. Which was... about 1,600 stitches total. So not a whole lot. It's all right for a week, I guess. I finished. Oh, and here's Boudreaux. He has crossed the Rainbow Bridge. He was our friend's buddy. And here's where I am at on him. His little ear whiskers are starting to come in. And then this is the curtain over here. That's got a lot of confetti in it. The pattern is a little nutso in there. So just getting some more of his ear filled in. I don't know, I don't know if I squished that well enough that you could see it in the... I don't know, did I do a side by side? I feel like I'm channeling Darcy now. Okay, so there's that. Now, before I show you my last one, I have to make a confession. This year had been my year of no new charts. I worked full-time all throughout the pandemic, so the money that we got from the stimulus turned into kind of play money. Probably should have saved it, but you know, it is what it is. Bills are paid. So I went a little crazy on charts and supplies and things like this, as we do. So I thought, okay, this year I'm going to have no new charts. Well, the Stitchy group that I am, see monthly, it's me and 3 other ladies, which they hadn't really known about my channel either. I had mentioned it when we were at the retreat where we met last year. But I was super new. I think I had recorded maybe 2 videos at that point. I mean, it was really, really new. So I didn't make a big announcement, or, you know, I didn't make a big deal about it. And it just never really come up. I don't think they really watch any Flosstube, or much, if any. So if you're watching, guys, hi. But I got to, okay, story time. So this past Wednesday, we had all talked about doing a Stitchy road trip because we don't have any LNSs near us anymore. The closest one is about 40 minutes away, which I had recently found out is actually like the LNS of StitchCon that I live 40 minutes away from. And there's another place that's Keepsakes. There's another place like 15 minutes from there called Martha's Heirlooms. She does some cross stitch, some embroidery. She has like smocking sewing stuff, kind of a little bit of an eclectic mix. It's a small shop, but it was nice to visit. So that was our destination. Well, when we talked about doing this little road trip, we didn't realize that it was smack dab in the middle of StitchCon weekend A and weekend B. And my very first customer, Angie, hi Angie, she was coming in for weekend B, and I was like, why don't, and it was going to coordinate like the same day that they were coming in was when we were going down for the stitching. And I'm like, do you want to meet? And I'll get you your bags, because they were finally done. And she said that would be great. And we got to meet up, and we had lunch, or no, we had dinner at that point. And that's when the conversation came out about the fact that I had a channel. And I don't know, self-promotion feels weird unless it's like in the channel, because you're already here. So I don't really talk about it a whole lot in my day-to-day life. So anyways, what that brings me to then is the fact that we ended up in a brick and mortar store of Keepsakes of all places, plus the other place. Y'all, I broke my no chart buy, and I broke it really good. or bad, depending on how you look at it. Now, I'm not going to beat myself up over this. I'm supporting a local small business. I don't get out very often at all. The last time I was at an actual LNS was back in like 98 when I bought the Alluring Sorceress from Dimensions and her companion piece, the Wizard. So that's whatever, I don't know, however, I was like 16 or 17 when I went there. It's since closed, but with that kind of opportunity, I wasn't going to miss taking advantage of that. Take advantage of it, I did. So I do have haul to show you, but that brings me to my last whip because I started one of my things that I bought. But again, I'm not going to beat myself up over the fact that I broke my rule and, oh, no, I'm just going to get back on the bandwagon. I'm not planning on breaking my online no chart buying because that's definitely a dangerous place to go. And we do have at least one more road trip, if not a couple more. There's some stores in Columbus and then like up north of us, and so we're gonna go again. But I think this time I'll go with a plan of, oh, I'm not gonna buy anything. Yeah, right. I'm actually going to set myself a budget, only take cash, leave everything else at home. That way I can only spend what I plan on spending. Some of you are like, we do that every day. I'm terrible at that, so. Sippy. Okay, so one of the things I picked up, I have been eyeballing these for a long time. My wish list for 123 Stitch is relatively long with these. I picked up my first mill hill kit. Buttons and beads. This one is Seahorse. Appropriate name. And I got, when I started this thing, y'all, I couldn't put it down. I did 1,253 stitches in one sitting, like one day between sleeps. Isn't he so cute? This was actually done on a day where I could not sleep. So that's part why I got a lot done. I'm not doing any of the beading until after I'm done. And I was doing some color completion. Not some, it did color complete. So this DMC color here, whatever this one is, that's all I have left. I've just got to fill in the background. And then, you know, of course, leave any holes that are there for the beads. I went ahead and even did his little French eye knot, or French knot for his eye. It's a little wonky, but whatever. There's some straight stitches here that still have to go in. And then it's all beading. And then he'll be done. So he'll go in my whip parade because I'm not going to get him done before I film that. And that was my progress for the week. I think it's decent. Like I said, I know it's been what, almost 9 days since I've filmed, but it didn't feel like I got a whole lot done because I did a reset for getting up to do my stitching day, and then I had a day where I couldn't sleep because of that reset and everything. So there was a couple of days where like I should have been working on, like, I think Purple Unicorn didn't get its day, and Boudreaux's missing a couple of days now, so it is what it is. I hold myself very loosely to any kind of plans when it comes to stitching because I have enough deadlines in my business life that I need to follow. So, you want to see what I got? Okay. So, Martha's Heirlooms. Yeah, I'll show you what I got there first. Was kind of cool. We did... I'll show you my knot kits first. So I decided to I saw an ad and I got sucked in for Domestika. I hadn't really heard of it. I guess it's like a crafting online not school, but you can take like crafting classes basically online, and they were running a special on this one course for painted embroidery, and I have some embroidery kits that use that technique that I am not familiar with. So I was like, well, okay, that's going to help me with actually completing some of the stuff that I have that I want to do. And one of the things that you have to do for her course is you actually have to transfer the pattern onto your fabric. Well, I picked up some of this where it's a printable thing. I don't really know how it works, but I guess you print it and then you stitch through it. You stick it to your fabric and you stitch it, and then you just wash it out, and ta-da. So I picked some of that up. And I got another Mill Hill Buttons and Beads kit, Ice Castle. Sorry, I didn't take it out of the package. And of course it's blue, so I was like, yes, please. And I guess I don't know if it's an ornament. No, it's just a winter series. So that'll get done at some point. And then I picked up a couple of pamphlets. Now this is not cross stitch. This is actually on, this one's on a mono canvas. I guess it's like a tapestry canvas where it's like a really stiff fabric-y kind of, I have no idea. I have to do some research on it, but I just thought the colors and these specialty stitches, oh my god, here, don't look at me, look at the pamphlet. That's just going to be gorgeous. So there's beads, and I guess that's this purple stuff here is like a acrylic ribbon. And the canvas itself is this green color. I don't know if I've been looking and I haven't been able to find any kind of canvas color that matches that. So I might have to play a little bit with it. And then I got another sort of embroidery kit. That, and you can see that back here you can see that open weave of the canvas really well in that. So, and sometimes you can sub out canvas for fabric, but with the way these specialty stitches and stuff are, I don't think I'm going to be able to get away with that, especially with the ribbons in the other one. And I don't know, I can't really tell if this uses the ribbon in this one too, or just, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, something different. I like throwing in some embroidery in my stuff. Switch it up every once in a while. Then I got, let me take this one out. This needle minder from Kelmscott Designs. Try not to, I can't really see when I'm doing that. But I love hibiscus. Isn't it pretty? So there's that. And then last, I picked up a remnant of 40 count fabric. I want to try tiny stitching. This is a lot of tiny stitching, guys. So it may end up as something for a 2/2 project. We'll see. But I mean, can you even see how the slubs make me a little nervous with being such a tiny count. So we'll see on the tiny stuff on this one. I'll fold that later. Okay. The other place we went was Keepsakes, of course, and I want a little cuckoo nuts there, but it was fun. I had a lot of fun. Okay. All right. So because I want to do some smaller stuff, I'm branching out a little bit with what I got. So I got a baby Q-snap, a little 6x6 one. might make a 6x8. I don't know. That's really small, so we'll see how much that kind of drives me crazy. And then I found I found this cute little guy. I know you're either usually a fan of Peeps or you hate them with a passion and think they're disgusting. I'm one of those that loves Peeps. Oh, by the way, last video, let me apologize for raise your hand if you enjoyed matching the pictures to the whips last time. Yeah, oops. So I discovered a very valuable lesson in that if I need to insert a video or clip a piece of footage out and move it elsewhere, I need to do that first. Because when I inserted the clarification announcement for the giveaway, it shoved everything after that, but didn't move any of my edits. I feel like that was a really rookie mistake, but I'd never really done it before, so I didn't know that that's what it did. So yeah, sorry about the bad picture placement last time. Anyways, back to Peeps. So I absolutely love Peeps. My husband gets them for me more often than he should, but it's actually a freebie pattern, and it's the button pack that was for sale. So it's got the little, I don't even know what that is. Strawberry? I don't know. Carrot? I have no idea what that is. Rose. That's what it is. Just look at the picture, Alara. Duh. So, okay. So that will be fun. This was a completely what's the word I want? Random buy? That's not the word I want. What's that word? Inspirational buy? That would be nice, but that's definitely not the word I want. What's the word, guys? Put the word for me down in the bottom if you're getting my ESP about what that word is right now. So this is Cathedral Woods Goddess. This is a Nora Corbett pattern. And I have no idea when she was released. Oh, this is a newer one, 2019. Go me. And I got, this does call for Karen Water Lilies, but they only had one of those. So I picked that one up. No, this wasn't even, just kidding. That was not, did I get any of them? They might have been out of both. Yeah, I think they were out of both. So I'll have to order the Karen Water Lilies. I got the beads that they had, but they only had like 2, 3, 4 packs out of the 7, 8 that I need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. Plus the multiples that I need. So I'll need to order those. Plus some Kreinik. They didn't have the Kreinik either. That's okay. Not that I'm going to get her done anytime soon, but if you have been watching, if you saw my last video, you know I'm kitting up all of my fancy ladies. Because next year is the year of all the starts. Going from no new charts to all the starts. So, and apparently that year of all the starts is going to include me on the bandwagon with A Year in the Woods by Cottage Garden Samplings. I don't know who they are. It's terrible. Okay, so in my very first video, I talked about how I can't remember names, and that is so true. I'm like, they're the people that make the fox. And the only reason I know it's the fox is because that's the name of the pattern. But I love all of the ones that I have seen so far. I have been so jealous of people working on these. So when I saw that he was in their wares, there was no saving me. I had to get him. Now, I don't have fabric for him. I may... Sorry, I feel like there's something in my eye. And I don't know how they did it, but by the time I left there, the rest of the samplers, the rest of the series was on order for me from them. How did that happen? I don't know. Picked up the Gentle Art Burnt Orange for him. It's pretty true to color. There is a very gentle, you can see it, yeah, you see it a little bit more down at the bottom. Gentle variation in that. It also calls for chalk. It's literally white. I am not buying fancy floss when it's white. And this is just cotton thread. Not doing the fancy floss for cotton white. They had an entire, it was a small room, but they had an entire room of bins of fabric, hand dyed linens, regular, I mean, just cupboard full. I have to go back with a budget. I have to go back with a budget. Repeat that 10 times. I have to go back with a budget. Because one of their giant bins is from these guys. Under the Sea Fabrics. I love their stuff. So I picked up a fat quarter. Yeah, that's pretty true to color. Isn't that gorgeous? Doesn't this scream me? I have no clue what I'm going to put on it. But whatever it is, it's going to be gorgeous. Ugh. So that happened. And I found this is a I can't read her writing enough to tell who it's from. Phone? I don't, maybe that's an abbreviation for something. I wasn't paying attention. I was just looking at fabric counts at this point. But do you see that? It's a 46 count. So, hoya! Look how tiny that is. That's going to be uber super tiny. And this one doesn't have the nearly as big a slubs as the other one does. So my tiny cross stitching may end up on this piece of fabric. But this is also a fat half. Now the coloring, it's a very, very subtle modeling. It's not really coming out on the camera. It's kind of a pinky, greeny gray. I was talking to Suki, the brown-eyed stitcher, and she has started her Alforged embroidery, the stitch along for this year. She's putting her project on 40 count, I think. Suki, I forget what count you're using. I know it's small, but I don't know how much brain power I want to use to convert their threads to something that works and is very similar because they do their own they have their own color line for floss, and you can't buy them because they are a Russian company. I don't want to hear any of the politics about it. You can't buy them. It is what it is. So I did download free charts, all free charts. Some just little tiny, not even samplers, just almost motif kind of pictures to try on the little stuff before I just go all in. Get off of there. Get. Gotta fly. All right. My last piece of haul is for not really bags, for my website. Anybody know what this is? is a whole lot of magnets. So apparently late night me has decided it would be a fantastic idea for us to make needle minders as well as bags. So she ordered a crap ton of neodymium magnets that literally I can shake a stick at. I did some research on what magnets would be the best for needle minders, because I don't know about you, but I've gotten some needle minders that it's almost like, why did you even bother putting a magnet on the back of this? Because it doesn't even hold onto the fabric, let alone a needle. I didn't want something super huge, but I didn't want something so tiny that, you know, you'd have to like, because I don't like super tiny needle minders. I don't really necessarily want a giant one either, but I wanted to be able to have a sufficient size. So this is, what size did I get? I forgot already. 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch magnets, 1/16 inch tall, and it is not the strongest you can get. It's a struggle because they're all together. But I wanted to make sure that they were, you know, of sufficient pull that they were actually going to hold everything together well. So, I'm actually going to pause because I hear someone coming down the stairs. All right, had an early bird that couldn't sleep anymore, and he's going fishing. So, that was it for all my haul. Yes? Yes. Okay, so plans. I'm not sure, to be honest. I have a new start that I am supposed to start today, that I am starting today. I want to start today for my anniversary. The Beautiful Simplicity by Stitching Moon. Sorry, Megan. All I could think of was Megan. Stitching Moon Designs on Etsy. She gifted this chart to me, and I thought it was absolutely perfect for my husband and I, because, you know, we are campers as well as, you know, we're campers. This dang fly has got me so distracted, y'all. Boy. So anyways, but I haven't even cut out the fabric. I have been wrapped up in weird sleep schedules and doing stuff, and yeah, I haven't even cut out the fabric. Plus I want to do the wet parade, so we'll see how much time. I don't have enough hours in the day, people. I just don't. Bag batch is done. Now I have to take a lot of pictures and actually get them listed on the website, and then they will be up. So look for that announcement soon. Very soon. I'm very excited. I'm hella nervous. I know a lot of you have been expressing a desire to check them out, but actually going through it and getting them live is so nerve-wracking. And I think that's part of why it's not live yet, is because I'm sort of almost self-sabotaging a little bit, whereas I just need to get it done, get them up, and let them do their thing. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Oh, I am, and I'm sorry if you're not really here for the bag talk. I'm just more, I don't really have a separate outlet other than the Instagram, and I'm not really familiar with like the videos and stuff on Instagram and how to do that. So it's just a little easier for me here, because this is where that sort of got birthed here anyways. So I had been saying that the straps have basically extenders where they would be an addition to, they would allow you to hang different size bags on the straps. While that's true, I had an epiphany the other day. And it was kind of one of those moments. Duh, why did you not think of this before? Instead of worrying about matching the straps to the outer corners of the bags, I can just match the grommets along the edge of the bag to be a standard size. So on the larger bags, the grommets will move inwards. Now, I don't have a standard size small, medium, large, extra large, whatever bags. They do sort of follow the panel designs. So I have a range of sizes, like, you know, X inches to X inches is this size bag and so forth. But I can sort of estimate the average where it's going to go. Now, there will be exceptions. Narrow bags for oddball panels are going to exist, and those extenders will work for that. But what I'm finding is I can match the extenders to the size so they hang at the same exact height, length on the strap. And I think the carabiners will fit comfortably. So these hook into the grommets on the bag and hook and hang on the strap. These will fit 3 bags comfortably, 4 if you really want to squish them. So it's just an extra storage capacity at some point. So there's that. So next year, what with learning that StitchCon is all of 40 minutes from my house, I really want to go. Now, I saw a post today that unfortunately COVID did hit weekend A. I guess there's at least 50 people sick with COVID at the moment from StitchCon weekend A. My heart goes out to them. I hope it's all mild and that everyone makes a full recovery, that we can't live our lives in fear, but at the same point in time, you know, we definitely don't want to wish that on anyone either. So hopefully weekend B is staying, you know, safe and healthy and is having a blast. I think they're going to be done at like noon today, I think. So hopefully that is not the case for weekend B, because that's got to be so aggravating for if you attended and had a great time and now the aftermath is here for you. But that being said, I got to meet Barbara Hills of Keepsakes. I met Susan and Lenny, that they work. I don't think I got to meet Steph from Pam and Steph, but I did, like I said, I did get to meet and talk with Barbara a little bit. Oh my gosh, the crew over there is amazing, amazingly knowledgeable and helpful. Because y'all, I'm getting the entire series of You're in the Woods, and I don't even know how it happened. But you know, she said that basically it's in June pretty regularly. So my luck, my Japan trip next year with the Scouts is in June. And knowing my luck, it's an 11-day trip, so it blankets 2 weekends. That's probably going to be the weekends of StitchCon. So I may not get to go next year, which it is what it is. Japan is going to be a once-in-a-lifetime thing, so that's definitely priority. But I definitely want to make it happen at some point. Oh, I did have a comment, my last video as well, about I have been sort of promoting, not really promoting, but just the fabric that I use, the 28 count Aida fabric that I use for my really big projects, I get by the yard, like the whole width of the bolt, yard wise, for relatively inexpensive. I think I figured out like 4 yards was $75 or something when I bought it, maybe even less. It could have even been like $60. I don't remember exactly. So I had, you know, mentioned it in my previous videos and linked them and everything. And somebody had commented that they tried to order, and after a month, the order got canceled. the seller never said anything. That's very frustrating. Especially, not that I'm representing the company or I have anything to do with the company. Y'all trusted what I said enough to go try them, and then that happened, and I hate that. So I actually messaged the seller and didn't hear back from them for like 3 days. And there is always that language barrier when trying to communicate with any sellers on AliExpress. So I'm not really sure if they understood my entire message. I tried to be brief and succinct, but basically I was trying to ask, were you having supply issues? I had somebody say that you canceled an order, and just trying to see if that's something that I need to, redirect people if you're having trouble getting fabric. And all they said was, no supply issues. You're welcome to order. It's not really what I asked. Read between the lines. But again, not English speakers. So what I did do is I reached out to another seller. I was browsing, trying to find, possibilities, and I noticed that a seller that I had used before and was very happy with thread, also sells 28 count fabric. So I reached out because they didn't have a specific listing for, these giant pieces of fabric. And he said, yes, absolutely. How much are you thinking? I said, how much can you mail at once? And he said basically, I think 4.5 yards per package, which is about what the other seller could do. It's about $25 more expensive than the other seller. So that was kind of it's still way cheaper than, any of the more expensive, more exquisite fabrics that you can get from like 1-2-3 Stitch or something like that. Nothing against buying fabric like that. For me, it's just not an affordable option that I would choose to do for what I want to do, if that makes sense. I want to do all these crazy starts, but if I'm paying $100 per piece, there's no way I could do it. This way I'm paying $100 for 6 to 8 or 10 projects. So for me, that trade-off is worth it. So he quoted me a price and made me a custom listing. It is a little bit more footwork. It has not yet shipped from my memory. And the communication that I had from the seller happened almost instantaneously and was after hours for them over in China. It was like 5:30 at night for them. So his communication was fantastic. From what I remember, though, they do take a while to actually get the product out to ship. I remember the thread that I had bought was the rayon silk thread. It's gorgeous, pain in the butt to use sometimes without doing the floss conditioner wax or whatever. But anyways, I remember that taking a while for them to actually get shipped out. It's going to take weeks anyways for shipping. So this is an exercise in patience from the get-go. I will keep you informed if I have any troubles with them, not sending it out or anything like that. I'm not going to link them yet. I want to receive the product because when I said something about, it's a little bit more expensive than I was hoping for, he made a very succinct point that, better quality is more money. So we'll see if this is any better quality of Aida fabric, which would be exciting. I mean, this isn't terrible fabric by any stretch of the imagination, but it's very stiff, very starchy. And does kind of have you have to sort of stretch it to shape once it's cut. And I'm yappy today. Is that new? No. I think the only other thing that I wanted to touch on today, I have it in my head that it would be fun to try to do one of the stitching events like on Facebook. I've been hearing about the games, like you stitch so many stitches, like the Stitching Survivor group or something like that. But I don't really know how to look for and find those specific groups to do those kinds of events. I don't necessarily want to do, because I know if like Full Coverage Fanatics has the challenges and things like that, but you have to do it with full coverage. And I don't necessarily want to limit it to one project or one type of stitching, because my stitching goes all over the place, and I want to be able to be motivated in my daily stitching and not just on a specific project. I also need something that's not going to require a whole lot of planning and math and figuring in order for me to just be able to do it. So if you have any suggestions, please link the group that you like for something like that down below. If it's like a game kind of team goal oriented stitching daily thing. I hope I'm coming across, if that makes any kind of sense, what I'm hoping for. But yeah, let me know down below, because I would like to try a different motivational way of stitching. I think you've basically heard my life update as we went along. This week was definitely all about the stitching road trip that I did. We had a blast, you know, got to eat lunch with these ladies and spent the day with them, you know, and like I said, we just hopped to those 2 shops and did our thing. Went shopping. Because I'm pretty sure I'm going to need at least 2 more orders of this many in order to make and utilize as many things as I have plans for with this. But I bought in bulk to try and keep the prices reasonable for you guys. So we'll see. We'll see how that works. I think I'm going to get ready for a wood parade. I don't know what possessed me, but I made notes through my old videos of what whips I would need to get out and show you. Oh, I did forget a plan. Let me finish touching on that. So I have 52 whips now that I have this new one. So we know how much I can talk. We'll see how long it takes me to get through 52 projects on a whip parade. Hopefully not that long, because I'm actually terrible at telling you like details of projects. I'll be like, here it is, okay, next, here it is, okay, next, here it is. But I know why people do it. It's a progress parade for their own record, really. It's entertaining for the rest of us. Like when I watch whip parades, it's like, ooh, shiny, pretty, ooh, I want that. But for the Flosstuber themselves on their own video, it's a mark of progress. I'm excited to see what kind of progress I will have seen. All right, let's be honest, like 2/3 or 3/4 of my whip parade is all new starts. So I won't really have a whole like great milestone of progress to show myself. But come December, with this record in place, that'll be pretty cool to see. But what I had forgotten to talk about with plans, this is a little bit further in the future than next week or next month. I was thinking about, you know, the conclusion of Mania and what all I had gotten done. And I was thinking about the kits that I had that I didn't touch, that I didn't start. I'm not really stressed about starting the other kits that I haven't. Those are pretty much all embroidery projects, with the exception of one that I need to get a piece of fabric for. Or use a piece of fabric that I already have. But I got to thinking about, you know, with my full coverage enjoyment, I do tend to neglect my older kits. And I have kits because that's what was easy at the time. It was easier to just grab a kit and go. So I think what I want to try and do is another sort of event for me for the month of October, and call it like Old Kit October, or Kitober, if you will. It sounds so stupid. Old Kit October, where I get out all of, well, maybe not all of my old kits, but I will get out old kits, old works in progress, old projects, whatever you want to call them. And that's what I will do in October. Maybe not with the goal of finishing a bunch of things, but giving some love to things that maybe I'm not like super gung-ho to get finished because they're not necessarily my love, what I would like to do a lot of, which is full coverage. I love full coverage. So yeah, so there's that. I think, yeah, so I will start organizing for the WIP parade. I have to get my oldest to their first job interview later on this morning. So I don't know. We'll see if I have enough time to film that before they are up and moving and coming out and photobombing my video. So hopefully I have been quiet enough. They usually say they don't mind me recording even if they hear me. So alrighty guys, I will see you in my next update video. If you are not going to watch the WIP parade, which totally understand, they're not for everybody. And I will see you soon. Keep an eye out for the announcement of the website because I'll probably do something special again for that. All right. Take care, guys. See you next time. Bye.